Hi, I'm Melody, and I live in LA. Please like and subscribe. When I was born, rumor has it that my dad took one look at me and said I was an alien. You see, I was born with scales like a fish covering my whole body. Oh my god, those scales! Please take her, I can't! The nurse was so frightened by my skin that she fainted while holding me. Mom grabbed me from her just in time or else she'd have dropped me. From that day onwards, my dad avoided being in contact with me, and as I grew older, his disgust for my skin condition worsened. One time, he got a promotion at work, and he came home more excited than I had ever seen him. As soon as he saw Mom, he ran to her and hugged her tightly. Excited, I also ran and joined in on the hug, but my dad shook me off so hard that I fell flat on my face. I told you not to get close to me! She's just a child! How can you be so ruthless to your own child? Shh, come here, my little mermaid. You're okay. Mom loved me very much, and she had tried for so many years to show Dad that I was harmless, but never succeeded. When she took me to kindergarten, the other kids cried and cowered in the corner, so I had to be withdrawn from school, and my mom homeschooled me. Unfortunately, she got very sick and passed away when I was 8 years old, leaving me all alone with my dad, who wouldn't even look at me. Barely a year later, Dad married this woman named Paula, and she and her daughter, Charlotte, moved in with us immediately. The first time Charlotte and I met, I thought she would run away, but she looked more amazed than shocked.
You look like a real-life mermaid. I bet many people tell you that.
Well, I haven't met many people. And it shall remain that way. You're not leaving this house. Ever.
But, Mr. Hopkins, how will Melody go to school?
Dad ignored Charlotte's question. Instead, he turned towards her and his stern face transformed into a huge smile. Call me Dad, please. We're family now. Unbelievable! Clearly, Charlotte was the daughter Dad had always wanted. And if it wasn't already obvious he preferred her to me, he gave her my room. And where did I sleep? The basement. The only company I had was Charlotte, who sneaked into my room every night to hang out with me and bring me treats, books, and anything else I needed. You know, you could get into trouble with Dad if he finds you come here.
I know that.
And you're not worried that you'll catch something? We laughed as she combed my hair.
I can't believe Dad said that. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Now can we listen to some music? Every night, Charlotte would put on some music and we'd dance and sing along. Sometimes, I imagined myself performing in front of an audience.
You have a great voice, Melody. You will become a star one day.
Ha! What a joke! I can't even show my face in public. So how could I become a star?
TikTok. Duh!
What's that?
Oh my god, you've never heard of TikTok?
Did you forget that I live in a basement? Charlotte looked so sad.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to sound so insensitive.
I burst out laughing and she hit me with a pillow. Come on, I have a TV, remember? Of course I know what TikTok is. Anyway, you think I'd be famous on TikTok?
Definitely! All we have to do is create an account and then post videos of you singing.
But everyone will see me.
Not if you don't want them to. You can just wear a mask and sing.
Charlotte, that's brilliant! Let's do it!
Yay! I even have the perfect name for the account. How does Masked Melody sound?
Charlotte was right. It was perfect. The following night, she came to the basement with a bedazzled mask that covered my whole face. It was the happiest I'd ever been in a long, long time. For the next couple of weeks, I sang my heart out as Charlotte recorded and posted dozens of videos to the Masked Melody TikTok account. The account kept growing, and I was shocked at the number of song requests I got from my fans. That's right, I had over 1 million fans! One night, Charlotte and I were in the middle of our recording sessions when Dad burst in. Charlotte was so startled that she knocked over the phone stand and the phone fell. Dad picked it up, and we knew we were in trouble. Dad had not been in my room for years, and the look on his face told me that he wasn't here to hug and make up. Is this what you've been up to this whole time?
Dad, I can explain. Melody has a really beautiful voice and…
I don't want to hear it! Take the account down immediately!
But…
Do as I say, Charlotte, and stay out of the basement! To your room! Now!
I'm so sorry, Mel.
And just like that, I lost my only source of happiness. I was back to being lonely, and I missed Charlotte very much. And my fans too, to be honest. After a few nights, I couldn't take it anymore, and so I took matters into my own hands and sneaked into Charlotte's room. Bad idea. Charlotte let out a scream and attacked me with a hairbrush.
Shh, it's me. Mel, I almost killed you.
With a hairbrush?
I doubt it. What are you doing here? Could you open another TikTok account for me? Pretty please?
She looked at me and hesitated.
Pretty please?
Even I knew she couldn't resist my charm. She laughed and finally grabbed her phone.
Here, let me show you how to create one and how to post so you can do it for yourself. You can use my spare phone.
Why? Can't you do it with me?
I would love to, but your dad threatened to kick Mom and I out if I kept helping you.
After Charlotte walked me through it, I hugged her, took her spare phone, and went back to my room. Just like my deleted account, the new one gained popularity quickly. Fans were excited and they asked me to cover songs by famous artists, including my favorite singer, Jonas. Jonas was every teen girl's dream, and his account had over 100 million followers. Doing a cover for his song kept me up all night. I kept deleting my recordings, but finally, I made a perfect one and posted it. Little did I know that it had just changed my life for good. I woke up to thousands of notifications. Before I could check them, Charlotte burst in looking breathless like she had ran here. Are you crazy? You can't be here. And don't you have school?
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
Charlotte, breathe! What happened?
Jonas commented on your video!
Now it was my turn to stop breathing.
What? See?
Charlotte shoved her phone in my face, and sure enough, there was a comment from him saying he'd like to see me audition for an upcoming talent show he was working on. The show was a big deal, and I couldn't believe he thought I was good enough to be on it. What do I do?
Reply and tell him you'll audition.
I can't. I knew that if I agreed to do it, it would mean that I'd have to show my face to the public. All I could think about was how fast I would lose my fans if they saw the face behind the voice. Days later, I still hadn't responded to Jonas, so you can imagine my shock when he posted that he had met Masked Melody, and she had just agreed to audition for the latest show. He posted a photo posing with Masked Melody, but she was not facing the camera. Of course, it wasn't me in the picture, but I'd recognize that girl anywhere. It was Charlotte! Charlotte admitted that she met Jonas and pretended to be me, but insisted that she did it to help me.
I told Jonas that I have severe stage fright and will only audition if they allow me to sing with a full mask on and costume. And he agreed that since I am Masked Melody, maintaining the mystery of my real identity will be good for the show.
I couldn't believe it! They will really let me perform with a mask on?
Yes, and costume. What do you think of a mermaid costume? You do look like a mermaid after all.
Charlotte was a genius! We spent several nights designing the perfect mermaid costume, and Charlotte had tailored it just as we had designed it. I had to make sure I was perfect for the audition as well, so I practiced tirelessly day and night. Everything was perfect until one night. My basement door burst open, and instead of Charlotte, her mother Paula was standing there. What was she doing here? Melody, your father and I are getting separated. What? I thought they were happy. Apparently not. Paula explained that she could not be with him anymore and was leaving him for good. But who will I stay here with? You guys are the only ones who actually care about me. Charlotte told me everything you two are planning, and I'm so happy for you and want to help, but I can only do that if you leave with us tonight. Yes! I was so done with that basement. Also, the thought of living alone with my dad made me cringe. I immediately started packing, and Paula helped too. A few minutes later, we snuck out, and I was surprised to see a trailer house parked around the corner. Charlotte was already inside, looking so excited.
Look what I got from the costume shop today!
She held my mermaid costume, and I was in awe. Oh my god, it's so beautiful! How did you even afford to pay for that? It's the least we can do for you. Thanks so much, both of you. Where are we going? I own some property outside of town. We'll park the trailer house there as we wait for the audition and decide what to do next. For the first time in my life, I was outside and free to enjoy the fresh air without worrying about who would see me or what they would say. Paula's property turned out to be an open field with lots of grass. I spent hours outside every night stargazing and enjoying the cold breeze. I worried constantly if my dad was worried about me or if he would even look for me. How would he react if he saw me outside? Or if he found out I was going to an audition? When audition day finally came, Paula hired a car and drove me to the auditions. My mermaid costume was a perfect fit. And when I finally walked on stage, the crowd went wild. I had never received that much attention in my life, and I was freaking out. Just then, I saw Charlotte in the crowd and she gave me a thumbs up. As someone in the crowd shouted, "Nice costume!" I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and sang like my life depended on it. And it did. By the time I was done, the crowd was on their feet clapping, cheering, and giving me a standing ovation. It was magical, and I couldn't believe I'd done it. Within an hour, my TikTok account had gained 100,000 more followers. As soon as I left the stage, I rushed to the car trying to get away from the crowd, like Cinderella running away from the prince before the clock struck midnight. By the side of the car, I was surprised to find Jonas waiting for me with a bouquet of flowers. That performance was perfect, Melody, and this costume made it even better. Before I could even say anything, he hugged me and I felt butterflies. Just then, I spotted Charlotte, but she saw Jonas and disappeared into the crowd. Phew! If Jonas saw her, he would realize he had met a fake Melody, and that would be the end of my career. The competition was going well, and I made it to the top of each round. One day, after an exceptional performance, Jonas waited outside for me and asked me out on a date in front of eager fans. Okay, sure. Fans went wild, and the story broke out in the tabloids minutes later. But I was a little sad. Of course, it was Charlotte who'd be going on the date. I wasn't jealous or anything. Okay, maybe a little. Jonas showed up at the trailer at exactly 7 p.m. Charlotte had spent all afternoon getting ready, and she looked stunning. When she walked out, Jonas took her hand and opened the car door for her. I watched them drive off, and a tear fell down my cheek. When they came back hours later, my heart sank as I watched Jonas kiss Charlotte. I wanted it to be me kissing Jonas so badly. As time went by, Charlotte and Jonas grew closer, and she would not shut up about him. She told me details of every date, and with every date they went to, I became more resentful. One day, I couldn't take it any longer, and I just blew up all that pent-up anger at Charlotte. He doesn't even like you! He's only with you because he thinks you're masked Melody!
That's not fair! I am literally doing this for you!
How's kissing the guy I like doing it for me?
Well, it's not my fault you're not brave enough to show him the real you, Melody!
The fight got really ugly, and Charlotte and I didn't talk to each other for a few days. On the final day of the talent show, I was almost certain I would win before I even got around to singing. Sure enough, I gave a show-stopping performance, and I won!
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner for the $1 million prize money and 12-month recording contract with Jonas record label, Masked Melody!
My dream had finally come true! I wanted to hug Charlotte, but she and I were still not talking, so I stood on the stage alone, still in my costume and mask. I was about to begin my acceptance speech when the crowd started chanting something that freaked me out.
Mask off! Take it off! Take it off!
Well, are you going to give your fans what they've wanted all season?
I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I bolted and disappeared into my dressing room backstage.
Melody, wait!
Charlotte ran in after me and hugged me.
You don't need to do it if you're not ready, but someone has to go out there. Can I?
I nodded hesitantly, and she waited for a few minutes, then stepped onto the stage as the crowd cheered at her. I switched on the TV in the room, and watched Charlotte smile and wave to the crowd. How long was I going to hide? I needed to show my real self. I took off my mask and costume and put on a dress that showed a lot of my skin. When I walked onto the stage, the whole place went silent. Apart from a few gasps and whispers, all I could hear was my heart beating. When Charlotte spotted me, she smiled and handed me the mic.
Sing, Mel. Do what you do best.
And I did just that. I closed my eyes and ignored some of the horrified looks in the crowd. By the time I was done, everyone looked confused, and no one clapped or made a sound for a while. Just then, someone in the audience broke the silence as he stood up and started clapping. I squinted my eyes to see who it was, but I couldn't believe my eyes. Dad? After him, everyone else followed suit, and I got the longest standing ovation of my life.
How's that for a twist? Ladies and gentlemen, the actual Masked Melody!
The cheers were deafening. I was swept off my feet literally by a pair of hands that turned out to be my dad. Melody, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I only wanted to protect you. But you were terrible to me and hurt me badly. Please forgive me. I will be a better father from now on. I need time to think about it. He begged me to go back home with him, but I couldn't trust him anymore. I couldn't help but feel that he only apologized to me because I was famous now. I am happy with Paula and Charlotte. Even though he looked hurt, he respected my decision and left promising to keep in touch. So, you're Melody. I turned to see a confused Jonas eyeing me curiously. Yes, and you already know my stepsister, Charlotte. I'm sorry we lied. Oh, it's okay. You have no idea how famous we're about to get. He pointed to a bunch of reporters taking photos and fighting to interview us. Charlotte was loving every minute of it, and so was I. The end.